welcome back to Talk to Me. We're here, as always, on the show with my three cohorts, Kayla Thompson, KT, Clifton Joseph, and Sweetie. And our guest tonight, our second guest tonight, is Karl Hale. Karl Hale is like tennis player extraordinaire, tournament director for the Rogers Cup, tennis head at the Donalda Club, and of course the president of the Helping Hands Jamaica Foundation. Welcome to Talk to Me, Karl.
Thank you very much for having me here.
So off the top, I'm going to talk to you about PTR Humanitarian Award of the Year. You mean Helping Hands Jamaica isn't your only baby? What's going on
No,
here?
it's primarily based around that. You know, I'm Jamaican born, and 11 years ago I wanted to give back to Jamaica, so I met a group of people, yourself included, and we got together a good board, and it's amazing things have happened since then. We built 12 schools. We've influenced 20,000 kids. We have lots of partners around Jamaica, a lot of people helping us. Serena Williams helped us. MLSE helped us twice. So it's been an amazing journey.
Right. So we just want to put in perspective that Helping Hands goes to Jamaica and builds basic schools, which is kindergarten.
Correct.
I guess that's
Correct.
the equivalent to start the base of building education in Jamaica. Yes.
Yes,
nice.
correct.
So you're building 4 schools this year, and you're doing that with sponsors Kisco and the Caribbean Chinese Association.
Correct.
What other programs are you introducing this year?
So we're looking at a vocational program. So one of the challenges in Jamaica is that the vocations like plumbers, electricians, they're not certified, and they learn from each other, so it's not necessarily the best way to do things. So there's a Hunar Foundation out of Pakistan that has perfected this program where they work through London, where they train everybody, and after a year they get a certification from London for these vocations. So we're looking at doing something like that. We also support the Aganar program. It helps at-risk youth in Jamaica. So it's kids usually from 15 to 25. And what they do is a 3-month program where 1 month they teach them values through sport. Then they train them. You know, for example, the first one we did was gardening. And then the 3rd month they do a kind of a co-op. And the first year we did it, we had, I think it was 24 of 26 students got jobs at the end of it.
Wow,
so
nice.
It's a very successful program.
Carl, this year you're doing July, I guess, and you're doing the 4 schools, 4 or 5 days in Jamaica. How does it actually work? Because this is also part of volunteer tourism. So you get people down there. How does the process work in terms of choosing who comes, and what is actually, how the process works when you're there in terms of knocking nails in and building the school?
So firstly, we want everybody to come. Just go to helpinghandsjamaica.com and you're welcome to come, but truly anybody's welcome to come. So it's a 5-day trip. In the mornings we build the school from 8 to 12. In the afternoons we do some activities, sightseeing, etc., things like that, go to Duns River Falls, have fun as a group, and then at night we have great dinners. And we do it over 4 days. The last day we have an opening with the school where all the students and teachers and community come out and celebrate. While we're building the school, the parents help build the school with us. And then after 5 days, the school is complete, and we come back and celebrate another school.
Wow, and you must feel so satisfied after that event.
Oh, it's well, you know, I think the proof's in the pudding. What has happened is that people that come with us, they actually come for a second time. You know, MLSE came down.
Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment.
Correct. They came down with us 4 years ago, and it was such a success. They came back 2 years later to build with us. So we have a lot of repeat because it's such a great experience.
Nice. This is volunteer tourism that you're talking about. What happens, though, with these schools in terms of after they're built and the upkeep of these schools and keeping them equipped and all of that? Where does that all come from, and who's responsible
So
for that?
we've looked at this very closely, and there's 2 issues. One is the teacher side. So we try to support their upgrading their certificates, they're called. So we always, if they want to be upgraded, we encourage them and we pay for it, which is roughly about $750 per teacher for each level of certificate. And then also what we're looking at is making the school self-sustaining. So we're looking at adding solar panels this year. We're going to add a gardening program where they can learn science through gardening and then actually sell the produce to buy pencils, etc. So we're looking at things of how to make them self-sustaining going forward.
So the schools in Jamaica, and just for the Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica, because Helping Hands Jamaica Foundation is really supported by very many friends. The schools have been built in St. Elizabeth, St. Thomas, Kingston, Manchester, St. Catherine, the span. And this year, I mean, the best parish is finally getting a school.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to Portland. No, but you know what? The thing is with the schools that, you know, obviously we're building schools and we're helping teachers and the kids. You know, everybody thinks of Jamaica as Usain Bolt and reggae music and the talent is all there. But in education, like our schools, the first school we started with was Sandy Banks Primary School. It was at 33% literacy. And in 5 years, it went to 84% literacy. So the students are really hungry. They're very talented. They just need the opportunity of proper schools and education to forward their lives and their communities.
Yeah, well,
I guess, Carla, may I ask you about these? Sorry to these. What is your level of cooperation and coordination with the Jamaican Board of Education Ministry? Because last year, for instance, Jamaica closed 18 primary schools, said that it would save $23 million Jamaican, which is about 850 Canadian.
Correct.
And, and they said that's part of 200 schools, primary schools that are underutilized, which they define as with 100 students or less. So as good a work as you're doing, what is your level of coordination, and what frankly would be some of your frustrations with the Jamaican government and Ministry of Education? Because clearly they're not doing their work, otherwise your work wouldn't be needed.
Well, I think we focus on the basic schools. So the primary schools are one above that. So it's a completely different issue altogether. I think what happened with those schools is that where they're trying to amalgamate schools to make them better in certain areas. So that's why instead of having two small schools, have one big one and try to make it a much better unit. So I think that's what they're after. Our cooperation has been great with them. They love what we're doing. They are in need of what we're doing. So we've had no problems with them at all. I think the difficulty is just, you know, the funding. You know, they just don't have the necessary funds to have the education system we have in Canada. So they need the help of Helping Hands. They need the help of Food for the Poor. They need all these organizations to support. I think the one thing I would suggest to them is getting these groups together and sharing a vision of this is where we want to go over the next 5 or 10 years, because we're all in this together, and then see if we can help in some other ways. And that's the one thing, is just maybe a little bit more coordination together as a unit.
Do you see an expansion, whereas you would be moving above this level of education and moving on to primary schools, for example, or would that be taking on too much?
When we built the school last year in February with Serena Williams, I had a discussion with Food for the Poor, and we were talking about education and the schools. They said there's over 1,000 basic schools that need to be built. So
1,000?
Over
Wow.
1,000.
we're going to be there a while.
So we're on number 12. So we got a long way to go. In 20 years, we'll sit here and see where we're at. But we're going to focus on that right now and see where we end up.
So we have, Stephen Tuller, and is going to Jamaica. Orlando Franklin, you because of your existence in the sporting industries, you're able to connect with people like this to go to Jamaica to help us to build schools. But Karl, let's talk about the walkathon. You have to talk about that and the gala in September, so that all our listeners, watchers of Talk to Me, you know, we want to ram the walkathon, right? King?
Yeah, man. Honest. So the walkathon. So we have the most fun at our events, and these events support what we do. Without them, we couldn't build the schools and help the kids what we do. So we have a walkathon on June 3rd. We do it down in the beaches in Toronto, and so we walk, and it's about an hour. We do the walk, and then we have a lunch after, and we celebrate and talk about all the things we're doing this year, and it's to build the school in Port Antonio. So all of the proceeds go towards that. And then we have a gala in September 15th this year at the Donalda Club, where we have roughly 250 people attend. It's always sold out, so get your tickets early.
Yes.
It's a great gala, great entertainment, a lot of amazing auction prizes and great people, and it's just a great organization and to be a part of.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
So, anybody has a wrap-up question in our 60 seconds that we've got left?
So, do you have any celebrities that you know of that will be going with you to Jamaica? You had Serena Williams that you kept mentioning.
Yeah, we've had in the past, and this is lucky because of just the group. It's not just me. We had in the past Serena Williams, Sean Paul, Shaggy, Lennox Lewis. We had Toots,
Bailey.
who's one of my favorite from Toots and the
Yes.
Maytals.
Yes.
He actually invented the word reggae. We had Donovan Bailey come. And then this year we have Orlando Franklin, who has the most magical story.
San Diego Chargers, Canadian?
Correct. Jamaican-born, Canadian, from a broken home. His mom, he was getting in trouble, sent him to Miami when he was 12. He got into football there, got a scholarship, and now he's a big professional. So he's building a school in San Antonio.
Thank you so much, and good luck with the gala, with the walkathon, and excellent work you're doing.
Thank
You're
you.
watching Talk to Me here on Rogers TV. We'll be right back.